Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Wednesday version of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I'm working remotely on behalf of Jin Shin Jyutsu Incorporated here in Phoenix, actually. Headquarters still has an address in Scottsdale, but I'm working from my house, my home, my heart's pleasure in my house in Phoenix, Arizona. So welcome everybody. I hope you're all having a good day, and welcome especially to anyone who is new to Jin Shin Jyutsu. Harmonize to Energize occurs twice a week for half an hour by way of introducing everybody, reviewing everybody about the beautiful harmonizing art of Jin Shin Jyutsu, which is basically we placing our hands on energy centers left and right of the spine to help harmonize and balance our soul, heart, mind, and body. Our hands are placed on what we call safety energy locks, and when these are released, they allow the congruent flow of energy through what we call energy function pathways. And this brings greater harmony and balance to our life. And that means on every level. Now, the Wednesday version, which you're now attending, is an invitation to everybody in the Jin Shin Jyutsu community, practitioners, instructors, new students, old students, to share with us stories about perhaps their practice of Jin Shin Jyutsu or something that really inspires them about Jin Shin and that they'd love to share with the community at large. So without further ado, today's mystery presenter is Beth.
Hello.
It's the return of Beth.
Thank you, Terry, for having me again.
Oh, you're very welcome. So welcome, Beth.
And that's it. That's my introduction. Welcome, Beth, and let's go.
Well, I mean, Beth, I always, because I like to give everyone the freedom of speech. Not that I'm lazy. I would
totally
love it
fine.
if Beth introduced herself, but she's got this beautiful, can you see the turquoise sheet and they're all little moon medallions behind there? Maybe you want to just let everyone see that. And then why don't I disappear, which consciously gives you the role. I can stay down there, or I can totally disappear.
Stay right there. That's perfect, Terry.
Okay. Yeah. So welcome. This is Beth Lendrum, everybody. From
thank you, Terry, so much for the opportunity to return to Harmonize to Energize.
Yes.
And I want to start with a quote today. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And that's a quote by Albert Einstein. And in Jin Shin Jyutsu, we're dealing with the energy pathways of the body. And we're working with the energy inside your body. And typically, we use our hands by placing them strategically on the body to facilitate movement down the front and up the back, down the front and up the back. But what if a friend or a relative is in need and you can't get to them? Or what if you're in need and you're not able to use your hands, your jumper cables? So in 2005, there was an article in the Main Central newsletter entitled The Self-Help Course by Anya Hoovers. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I'm not positive about that. She was located in the Netherlands. And this article always stayed with me because what she did is she taught a man who was paralyzed from the neck down self-help. And how did she do that? Well, first she started working with him and she And she goes on to state in this article that she held Safety Energy Lock 1. We refer to these energy centers in Jin Shin Jyutsu as safety energy locks. She held, and they're all numbered. So she held Safety Energy Lock 1 on this gentleman. No reaction. And then she went through, and all of a sudden, after she got, I believe it was to Safety Energy Lock number 5, he started to feel a tingling in his feet, a sensation he hadn't felt since the accident that had paralyzed him. And so that began their journey. And what he would do at night when he couldn't sleep or if he was anxious is he would envision his hands placed on specific places on his body. And he found that that eased his discomfort, it calmed his nerves, and he gained clarity in his mind. And that article always struck me. Well, if somebody can do that for themselves, why couldn't we do that for somebody else who's far away and is in need? And so that began my journey of practicing this on others. I started with friends that were long distance, and I started this probably 4 or 5 years ago, just practicing this remote session idea. And first I started with family members. They're the hopefully the easiest to convince. Hey, let's get on the telephone. I'd like to try this. I want to see if you can feel anything. And I would sit at my massage table. And when I first started, I would have a bear laying on my massage table. And I would strategically place my hands where I felt the person who was on the phone needed some support. And it was so fascinating because they would say to me, oh, my stomach is gurgling. Or, oh, I can breathe a little bit more easily. And then as I graduated from trying this, I would sit at my massage table without my bear. I would just sit there and I would visualize the body in front of me. And sometimes we'll call this air Jin Shin Jyutsu. I would place my hands where I felt the person that I'm on the phone with was in need. And the more I practiced, the more I could tune in to the body. I could tune into the person that was on the phone. And that became really fascinating. That's where letting your intuition guide you can be so helpful in a remote session. I believe that when we give the body a pathway to follow, it intrinsically knows how to transform itself from the outside in and the inside out. We tap into the body's innate natural wisdom. And so for somebody who is receiving on the other end, I may just suggest to them, so that they feel in tune with their body and with the session, to suggest that they gently hold a finger. And I base that selection on whatever it is that's going on in their body, whatever the project may be, because I want them to relax and receive, but also feel a part of the session. And so these safety energy locks, or acupressure points that are located on our body, were specifically designed and specifically placed on the body. And what happens is, when they're called safety energy locks, because our body naturally will lock up. That's a whisper of a message that our body is trying to talk to us and tell us. letting us know that area needs attention. And that lack up can just be feeling tender to the touch. That's the first whisper. And then maybe it gets louder and louder, and it becomes quite discomfort and quite painful. And so by using your hands, you can help free that energy, create that flow, allow that flow to reestablish itself in your body. And so what I'd like to do is just work through. So sometimes after I started trying this on other people, there would be times when I would be laying in bed, and that's when I typically do my own self-help, is when I go to bed at night or when I wake up in the morning. But sometimes I wasn't really tired. I was still tired, and I didn't feel like actively touching my body. I just felt like being present to the flow. And so I would envision on myself, my hands holding these places. There's a really beautiful quote by W.B. Yeats that says, "The world is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." And I feel like the whole concept and idea of remote sessions is allowing our other senses to grow stronger, where you can maybe feel something intrinsically, even though it's far away, or hear something the body might be whispering. And so I would like to have you all try this with me. And first, what I'm going to do is show you exactly where I'd like to have you visualize yourself placing your hands. And you can place them first to see. The first place is going to be safety energy lock number 1, which is the inside of your knees. I'll just turn this down. I'm going to cross my hands, visualizing crossing my hands. And the next place will be safety energy lock number 2, which is the top of your hip bones. And then safety energy lock number 3, which is at the base of your neck and that corner of your scapula that's up there by your neck. And then finally, we'll hold safety energy lock number 4, which is at the base of your head, your occipital bones, right there. And there's really no wrong place to hold. If you're in the general vicinity, you'll be able to feel and establish a connection. So now for the visualization, I'd like to quote Mary Burmeister, who brought Jin Shin Jyutsu to the United States. She said, "Expect a miracle and sometimes the impossible." So let's just come together with a collective exhale. And then an inhale. And another exhale, unloading. Drop your shoulders on that exhale. And then inhale, receiving all the gifts you were meant to receive in this moment and in this lifetime. And then exhaling again. And on this exhale, I'd like you to envision and just feel into your body. Is there any area that's calling your attention? And now visualize yourself placing your hands on safety energy lock number 1, which is the inside of your knees. And feel into that with your breath. Safety energy lock number 1 is the prime mover. Life is motion. And safety energy lock 1 helps you to move forward. Take that step. Connects heaven and earth. And let's just take a couple of breaths right here. Visualizing your hands holding safety energy lock number 1. And on your next exhale, let's have you visualize holding your hands on safety energy lock number 2, the top of your hip bones. I'm placing mine there just so you have an example, so you know where to hold in case there are new people joining us today. And safety energy lock number 2 is all about wisdom. Life force for all. Seeing all there is to see in your body through the eyes of the Creator. It's also about body alignment. As you can imagine, the placement of the hands is supportive for your low back and your back in general, helping energy to move up your back. So let's just spend a few breaths here, visualizing your hands holding safety energy lock number 2. And now moving your hands, visualizing to holding safety energy lock number 3. The base of your neck, the tip of your scapula. One of the places where we like to hold the whole world on our shoulders. And safety energy lock number 3 is all about relationships. It's also about it's our respiratory specialist, helping to open up your breath so that you can breathe more freely. It's referred to as the door. Having that door stay open when we need it to be open, and to close when we need some defense against problems or discomfort. It also helps to support your immune system. It's the harmonizer of all relationships and reminding us that life is change. So let's take a few breaths here together and visualizing your hands on safety energy lock number 3. And then on your next exhale, let's have you envision holding your hands on the back of your head, holding safety energy lock number 4. The window. You're opening up the window to let all the light in. Let your light shine. Let that light shine in your body. It's also known as the weaving princess. Weaving the invisible to the visible and the formless into form. And the back of the head here being so close to your eyes helps to open up your sight, your vision. Mary Burmeister had another quote, "Self-change begins with self-study." And on your next exhale, feel free to release that visualization of your hands and take a moment to go inward and feel what sensations are you feeling. Is there anything in your body that's calling for a little more attention? I really believe that self-care is really about becoming aware of what's happening in your body and how your body talks to you. And it's my hope today that you have a greater understanding of how energy flows, how we connect to the universal life force energy, and how we can utilize it to support ourselves, support our friends, our family, our clients in a new and different way as we all pivot in this world. And I hope I've given you some confidence to at least try this. And what I'd like to do is leave you with a quote from Helen Keller, which is, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." Namaste, everyone. Hi, Terry. I see you've come back.
Yes, I've reappeared, enlarged. Not to be competing. Yes, I have a brown teddy bear too. This was a Target special.
This was one of my children's from some place at some time.
And she is called Arwen, after that princess in Lord of the Rings. And wow, I don't know about everybody who was sharing this along with me, but this to me was a beautiful expanded teaching on something I personally have used the teddy bear for, but I don't usually do what Beth did, which was expanding the whole concept for me, visualizing it on myself. In fact, what I found I was doing as soon as Beth gave us those instructions, I immediately visualized someone else that I was going to do it on, because I'm so used to doing unto in that way at a distance. So this was very nourishing for me. And I certainly felt the sensation as I placed my hands in all the positions 1 to 4 of safety energy locks. Let me have a quick look at the chat room. Oh my God, yes. Just absolutely wonderful. Lovely sharing. Yeah, I don't want to really, I can't add too much to what Beth was saying, but I will say this, because there's so much more understanding of our awareness and the connections, the matrix, the unified field, the quantum field. There are threads of energy between us, and we are all connected. And this idea of remote healing is just perfectly accessing that whole unified field. It's not going to disappear just because, we're not placing our hands on someone else. It's there, and we're just using a different sense and connection to relay it. So what a beautiful presentation. And I hope most of you enjoy the idea of possibly doing remote healing, because you can't always see everybody for all kinds of reasons. Even if there wasn't COVID, So maybe this, I don't know about you, Beth, but maybe this is something, even when you get back to working full time on people, if people can't always make an appointment for whatever reason, the car broke down, that kind of thing. Why not say to them, well, you know what, you don't actually have to be here. I will work on you.
One of my clients actually was skeptical to go to remote sessions, and now she says she won't come back in the office because it saves on the carbon footprint, because she used to have to drive about 45 minutes to come for a session. And I thought, oh, that's beautiful too. So
I love it. So there you are. If you're looking for a way of marketing remote healing, you're already getting some good ideas, aren't you? You're getting some bullet points. But it makes so much sense. And right now with all the COVID variations on the theme that are going on, you probably don't have to convince people too much, because they're probably going, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. And, and for me, Terry, too, I recently relocated, as you know, and the majority of my clientele is still on the West Coast. I'm now on the East Coast. And it's a great way for me to stay connected with them and for them to continue understanding, understanding Jin Shin Jyutsu and a whole new, deeper level, honestly. So.
Yeah. Now, this is, to me anyway, as I said at the beginning there, it's expanding our awareness of what we can do using I would say our soul, heart, and mind. Our mind has a visualization capability, but we know that Jin Shin Jyutsu is an art of compassion. Where does that come from? The heart. And I think if you incorporate those qualities like you would, generally speaking, working on someone with visualization, I think you've got the package there perfectly. So I'm curious if any of you are going to experiment with this, and I will welcome, Beth to come back anytime. But I will also welcome any of you who so far haven't volunteered to come on for whatever reason, who may
And it's
now.
really fun, and it's a safe environment to practice.
Yes.
To practice going live. It is the way of the world now, being on camera and on Zoom. And so why not practice in a safe environment? You don't want your first time going live being an audience of 500 people. And Terry makes you feel super comfortable. So I encourage people. We all have stories to share, for sure.
So thank you again, Beth.
You're welcome. I did put my website on in the chat. It's bethlendrum.com. Would love to connect with people. And I do lead a mastermind study group for people who have taken one 5-day class. So you're welcome to reach out to me about that, as well as I lead a Wednesday, I refer to it as an enhanced meditation, guided Jin Shin Jyutsu self-help, because I think meditation is great. And then you add holding a finger or holding a place on your body, and it just takes it to a whole new level. Meditation on steroids.
So people would find out about that by going on to bethlendrum.com.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Wow. So, our presenters week by week, it's becoming like a magical mystery tour because, there's more magic every week is what I'm going to summarize. And thank you, Beth, and thank you, everybody. And again, I'm looking at the comments. People really have enjoyed this, Beth. And I see Wera said that Anya, who was on here a few weeks back, Anya Mwakli, she's been giving remote sessions and with pulse listening. There you go.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I didn't want to get into that today, but yes.
Yeah.
When you
tune in, pulse listening. So
yeah, when you tune into the body, you can really hear and feel everything.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to just share something which isn't Jin Shin Jyutsu, but it's practical. When I was an art student and still am to a certain degree, and also learning to play a musical instrument, what do you think one of the ways I was taught how to remember where to place my hands on a guitar or remember how to do a certain stroke? You had to visualize it first. And the teacher said it will be much stronger, much more integrated in your consciousness if you visualize it first and then do it. Now, honestly, I'd forgotten that until Beth brought this whole subject back. It's true. You're engaging your consciousness, your soul in this, and then you're transferring it wherever. So I better let you go, Beth. Otherwise, I'll be here all day.
I don't mind, Terry. I don't mind.
So, as Debbie said, awesome. See you tonight on your meditation. And Mickey, thank you. Sometimes I visualize each of the SELs and wow, it feels great. Long distance, yes. Perfect. Thank you, Lois from France. My shoulders have dropped and are happy. I had inklings of this possibility and now I will do it. Thank you all.
Great. Yay.
So magical, my friends, Magical Mystery Tour with Beth Lendrum. And
thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Yeah.
It's been my pleasure.
She's always more than welcome to come back. And again, I will say once more, please, if you want to come on board, do a presentation. Now you've got something else you can practice with, you can do that. And I'm just going to write the email, info@jsjinc.com. Oh, yeah, it's one of those days where spelling doesn't come easy. Here we go. info@jsjinc.com. Send it along to me and come on board.
And someone asked for my website. I put it in there. It's bethlendrum.com.
Yeah, there it is.
I put it in again.
Right
just so.
Yeah, perfect. I don't want to go, but I've got to go. Yeah, it's all the magic. It's the moons. Yeah, no.
Yes.
It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you again, Beth, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah. Take care. Take care, everybody. Look after yourself, and Friday is the next Harmonize to Energize, where I tend to do the 36 breaths. But you never know, because sometimes people can't make a Wednesday, so maybe we'll do some storytelling then. You never know. Wait and see. All right, I'm going to be quiet now and end the call. Take care.